I'm seeing if I can. I'm out, just enjoying the summer, and there's a lot of rape plants about. There's ducks, a lot of ducks about. Yeah, it's a lovely time to be in England. A lovely time to be alive, actually. You know, I was thinking, it keeps coming to me. What the Lord's kind of brought me out of, and yeah, we get reminders for a reason. It's not like to condemn us. It's because things are getting a bit more crazy, spiritual. It's getting heavier. We're just in them times, and yeah, may as well make the most of it. And this is why I appreciate the outdoors now. I used to do as a kid, but then that's why I need to get baptized again, because a lot of things happened. I know people say I'm good, I'm baptized as a kid, but a lot of things happen throughout life, and it does. You have to get cleansed again. You have to, and a priest. It's no good a priest like dabbing a bit of water on your head. It has to be through God, through Jesus. There's no other name under heaven. There's no name. There's no name. There isn't. That's why people curse it. People curse the name of Jesus. Because it's good. If people are in a bad state, they're gonna curse the good. So yeah, I just want to see if this will flip round. Yeah, it does. Nice. Yeah, so I've got my little camera out. I don't think there's much in here, but there actually used to be loads of fish in here. It's only a small one, but this used to be rammed with fish. But this is like one of the reasons why I think, like the Euphrates dried up. When I came back from, actually I left England to go traveling like 10 years ago, and I remember like I was going through quite a bit, and and I cared about this drain, not this one exactly, but another drain near my house. It was absolutely rammed with fish. I mean, pike was massive. There were so many wild fish. It hardly got touched, and it got cursed. The land was cursed. Everything started drying up. I know people might think it's natural, but it isn't. God can make a place die. He can make people die. He can make people ill. And that's sin. Where if an area is sinned, if there's a lot of witchcraft in an area, that place is cursed. You'll see a lot of places now, a lot of towns. Like when I come back, everything's died off. A lot of fish populations died off. Towns have been derelict. They've got a lot of derelict goings on, buildings and everything. People have moved away. And the place, because of spiritual battle, they don't know about it. They just think, oh man, this is life, we'll have to move. But there's more to it than that. And that's why, like, when I come back, I went to my hometown, and it's just a different place. I mean, it's the same place, but it's just died. It's decayed, and it's not just physical, it's not just money, it's spiritual, because a lot of things that have moved in. So yeah, it's everywhere, across the nations. You got people walking. There's a lot more fentanyl and a lot more things. Deadly drugs going about. People are walking around like zombies, and it's just so demonic. It is, man. And there's a lot of godless places, a lot of godless villages, towns, a lot of wickedness. And especially in England. England is pretty bad for like witchcraft and things like that, like old witchcraft. Like Vancouver Island, when I was on there, man, that was bad. That was heavy with witchcraft, and yeah, I had some experiences on Vancouver Island. When I first got to know what the supernatural was like, Vancouver Island was crazy, and that's where I got to know God. That's when I got to. I became homeless, was in the bush, and that's when I got to know Christ. I was on my own. He met me when I was on my own. That's when powerful things happen. When you're on your own, you got no distractions. I was taking a lot of drugs at the time, and it's not the drugs that was. I mean, the drugs opened me up to seeing the supernatural, and I actually saw the supernatural before, but God was like, well, he's not going to, because I wasn't going to come to him any other way. You know, I had to get to that point through drugs, and you know, but then the thing is with that it became an addiction. It became like a reason, you know. Oh, I'll take drugs and I'll be able to experience God, and that'll give me a reason to follow God. But then it becomes a cycle, and then you start relying on drugs to have that experience, and it's like a trap, you know, because it's like a kind of rewires your brain in a way to relying on finding God through drugs. But you can find God through drugs, you know, it's happening every day all across the world. It's happening, you know, people are having supernatural experiences soberly without drugs and that. And I have, but I had to go down that route, and you know, I mean, I would have preferred another route, but you know, if I had to do it that way, I had to do it that way, you know, because a lot of if I didn't do it that way, I would just, I don't know, something just clicked in my head. You need to do this drug. You need to do this drug again, because I went quite a bit of time without it, and I started doing it, and I started noticing things about my workplace as well. You know, I started noticing things about you know, my manager, because he was a Muslim, and you know, he said to me, I didn't know I didn't know much about Muslims. I didn't know much about Christianity. I didn't know anything about Christianity. And I remember him saying to me once, I'm a Muslim, you know, and it was and I always remember the way he said it. It was like as if to say, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening in England. This wasn't in Canada. Like there's a lot of things happening in England. That's why I said this, you know, because Muslims are taking over England. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about the Muslim thing taking over. I didn't really take notice of it. You know, I was like, yeah, they're just living in this country. But the thing is, yeah, there was an agenda, and it was spiritual. And I actually saw the demon inside him. You know, I caught the demon, the demon of anger that was inside him, and you know, it was all for the learning. And I don't. I have a few regrets, but I don't have many regrets, because it's all led me to knowing God, and you know, or to try, you know, just to keep, you know, on the good fight, you know, because it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's not too hard. Like God makes it easy. He makes it easier just with him being there, existing, you know. If you know God, you're lucky to know Him, because a lot of the world don't know Him, doesn't know Him, and you know, it's understandable, because we live in a physical world. And it's sad, actually. It is, man. And to be honest, it's that thin line of, and especially if you're growing around atheist family, and you feel like, I actually feel pretty sad. You know, I feel bad for him. I want to just, you know, just tell him. But sometimes it can be like classed as suicidal empathy. You know, it's bad for you. You know, if someone's made the choice, if someone's stuck in the choice, and they're being used by the other side strongly, and it's gonna be a disobedience to God if you're trying to fight your way into that, to winning them. You can't win them. Only God can win them. I can't. I've tried that. I've done that. You know, I've been there, and it's like talking to a brick wall. If they've got it not in the heart, if they're so deep in the heart to rebel against God, and just to be blind altogether, if they're happy with the blindness, it's going to be extremely hard. And God forbid anything bad happens, but something bad has to happen to people for people to wake up, for people to actually turn, and something bad happened to me, as in, yeah, I went down the drug road. That was bad, but I still was alive. You know, I didn't end up in I was kind of dying, but it wasn't like a sudden death. You know, it was like a spiritual death. And I was lucky to have God to kind of show me that it was bad. And people don't have that, you know. And it's hard to tell people. It's hard to, and that's why you got preachers. That's why you got preachers going about, you know, because there's some people that are reciprocal to, you know, they can receive the word, but not everyone's going to receive it the way you want it to. But even though if you think it's going to happen, but God sends us as the people that are more, you know, to receive the word. But like I say, yeah, it's not easy. It's not, but it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible for God. And yeah. Anyway, I just want to get that across. I'm kind of just out here. It's kind of nice and relaxed. Kind of just appreciating God right now. I am, man. I do. We owe it to Him. We do. We owe it to Him. He's a patient God, and I'm trying not to get emotional about it, but it's true, man. God is good. And yeah, and like I say, it's sad, people. I believe in hell. I nearly been there, man. I have. Actually, I experienced like a dungeon kind of hell. It was dark. Actually, I've had many experiences. Really, I can't really pinpoint because I've had quite a lot. I'm not going to dwell too much. It doesn't matter. I could tell people. It doesn't bother me. It's not like I'm going to have traumatic reaction to it, because I don't. Because it's all real. It's nothing. Nothing surprises me anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't surprise me, and because I've got God. I know God even. And if I don't have God, I'm gonna feel it, and it feels horrible. It does, man. Don't feel good. It feels like you've lost someone. It feels like you've lost a loved one. It feels like you've done something terribly bad. It feels like you're losing an arm. It does, man. Don't feel good. So yeah, call out to God. Give him a call. Doesn't hurt. We live in a broken world, man. We live in I can do it by myself. But when it comes to something bad happening, it's like, something happened. Like what went on? It's that's when God knows these things. I was speaking to someone earlier, like to do with work, and I said to him, "Do you want to organise a time?" I actually said 11 o'clock. She said, "Oh, you're psychic," and I'm like, "No, I'm going to preach to you in a minute." But that's the thing. Like people don't know God. I spread the word, man. Spread the word. See you later.